the snow melt faster. Welcome to the garden, or I guess for this vlog it'll be mostly just the greenhouse. It's April, it's very snowy outside and it's windy outside, but there's a lot of sun today, so the greenhouse is feeling pretty warm. Because of the wind, there may be some noise from the plastic blowing in the wind, but hopefully we can avoid that as much as possible. So in the garden, not much is happening right now. The snow is just starting to melt on the front deck there. In the greenhouse though, things are looking more interesting. Some of the things I've sowed have actually started growing. I have mixed feelings about things, to be honest, because this is the first year I have the greenhouse and I know that things aren't done in here. Like, there's all this trash here that the reason it's still here is because I need to remove it with a car, and we can't get a car here until like May, late May, when the snow has melted, because the road here isn't plowed. So I need to wait until we're able to get here with a car in order to remove all of that stuff. So the greenhouse is unfortunately going to be kind of like not in its optimal state all the way until late May. Like sort of that half of the greenhouse I can't really use the ground. Like, there are some plants there in pots, and then the shelf that's up here I can have use to for like small trays and stuff, but there's just a lot of mess there. And then the other thing that's stressing me out is that this side of the greenhouse, the front side, I want to have like just one big frame, and currently I have 3 separate frames that are different sizes and different heights. And that's just because that was what I was able to set up last year, and I don't mind, like, there are 3 useful spaces, and they're all in use right now. Like, I have different things going on in each of them. So the spinach will probably be maybe ready to harvest in like mid-May, maybe, based on previous experiences. But of course my previous experiences are in, from different places, like other places, not here. So I don't know how this will do. This place, the spinach here, started sprouting much earlier than I've seen any other place I've been growing stuff. However, after it started sprouting, it kind of stagnated for a while, because I think it gets very cold here in the mornings and during the night. So it doesn't get a lot of time with heat throughout the day, sort of. Even though when there's sun on the greenhouse, I think it gets fairly warm, but that time is just so short. So anyway, so optimistically, maybe mid-May I will get harvestable spinach here. So this is the spinach and some other stuff. This is looking very exciting. It's green! Eee! So this was planted in rows. It looks a little thin, but I think I'll just let it be. So there's spinach in from here and all the way to the edge there. Then there's one row of dill here that hasn't started sprouting yet. And then there's also a row of broccoli here that I just to harvest as like baby size plants. So that's looking super nice. And if I feel the soil here, it's warm. So, oh, a weed. Oh, a big weed. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hopefully it won't be too cold the next month. And then here now I have this tunnel. So this is just lots of different perennial stuff. There are some non-edible flowers, and there are some herbs, and there are some perennial vegetables and strawberries, all sorts of stuff, just like anything I didn't know where to put and that I was a little bit afraid wouldn't handle the snow, I put in here. And then in this frame, this is kind of a narrow, it's more narrow this way, but it's longer. This is actually one of the frames that the greenhouse came in. Here I have peas, and there I have various brassica seeds mixed together. And then I have nothing here, so maybe I should plant something on this side. But then I'm worried that that'll just like complicate things even more. So this entire area here I'm hoping to turn into just one big frame that's like goes from the outer wall into the door frame, and then it's entirely like framed, so it looks nice. In the middle frame with all the overwintering plants, like there's so many different things there and I want to see what survived before I start moving things. So that means that I don't know when I'll know that, but probably I shouldn't start moving anything there until like May. So that's also like around May. And then the furthest away frame I have like some strawberry plants, and I mixed together all my brassica seeds that were kind of like old, so I didn't really trust that they would grow very well, so I just mixed all the brassica seeds together, like broccoli and kale. I actually have the seed packages here, so let's see. So some purple kale, other kind of purple kale, regular kale, some Brussels sprout seeds, and some purple sprouting broccoli, I think it's called. These were all seeds that it says used before 2021, and it's 2023 now, so I figured I might as well just mix them together, and instead of growing them to the full size, I'm just going to grow them to like a mixed salad size. So if I get them up to like 15 centimeters or something, or even shorter than that, we'll see. And then I also have a spot where I did the exact same thing with lots of peas. So I had some different kind of like snap peas and regular peas, and even some like a box of just like store-bought peas that I use for when I have a space where I don't have anything growing. I usually spread out some peas to like for the nitrogen fixating properties, and also just like because I don't like having bare soil. So I mixed together some peas, and I'm just gonna grow some sprouts, like pea sprouts from those. So kind of the same idea as with the brassica. So that's those three beds. So in the furthest bed with the peas and the brassica, I'm hoping that'll be done by May as well, but that's not something I've tried before, so I don't know. But so it looks like around May I may be able to start moving things around, harvesting the spinach and harvesting and the other stuff in this bed, and the brassica and the peas, and then maybe starting to move the plants, because a lot of the plants in the middle one are perennials. So I just want to see if they're alive, and then I can start. Because I might actually, now I think about it, I might not even have to move them out. I could maybe just build the frame around them. I might not have to actually move any of the plants, but I think at the same time, when I build up that main frame, I think I really will want to just like start from having no plants there, so that I can like even out the soil and mix in some compost, because that's what I have, this large bucket of bokashi compost mixed together with dirt. So I think it would be really nice to just kind of start with a blank slate. I think that would be super cool. I think that would make me feel happy. So I'll probably want to move those plants individually and then replant them individually back, I think. But anyway, so I'm just like, okay, it kind of helped talking through it now, but I just feel like there's a lot of like overlapping things, and everything just needs to like fit perfectly in terms of time and in terms of space, and it's just a lot to kind of sort out in your head. But I think it'll be fine. I will show you all of the stuff happening in here. We have some tulips. I forgot to plant them this fall. I was gone until November, so then when I came back I was kind of distracted, and then I forgot it. But then as soon as I realized, so I think this was in January or something, I put the bulbs were already starting to sprout, and so I put the bulbs in this tray, and we'll see how they do. They're at least growing, so I hope they flower. I think I'll just let them flower in this tray if they're okay with that. Or maybe I can, oh actually I could put them in the spot I have over there, but then that would, okay, yeah, anyway, I won't overthink it now. And then apart from that, I have lots of flowers. So I have some flowers growing here, some annual flowers, and then here I have some calendula that hasn't started sprouting yet. And then here I have some spinach, and this has started sprouting, but I'm not totally sure if I think this will survive, because it started sprouting, but then it looks like very exposed. But I'll just let it be and we'll see what happens. And here there's this like Mizuna cabbage, and then on the top I have this thing which I don't know what I don't know the name of that. I'll put it on the screen. And then this is some like lettuce that I also don't know the name of. Put it on the screen. And then more spinach here, and the spinach here as well has started sprouting. We'll see how it does. And then finally over here I have my grape plant. I think it's so amazing that, well, knock on wood, I hope it survives, but like, it's so hard to think or believe that this would survive. It looks so dead, but I think it will survive. Here are some cornflowers, and I noticed, although I don't know how visible it is, but over here there are some sprouts, so they're starting to grow. And I think previously, when I've just been using these kind of plastic boxes, I think they've started growing earlier than April. So I think these are late. And there's some more of this lettuce thing, and these are marigolds. And then here's some more, well, these are cosmos. And some more of this lettuce thing, but these, I'm a little worried about them because they look very wet. So I think maybe, because if they get too much water, especially now when it still gets below 0 during the night, if they get wet and then they freeze, that really can damage the seeds. But I also don't want them to dry out, so it's just difficult watering. And this last tray is just lots of calendula, different types, some more like yellowish and some kind of brownish, like yellow brown, and then there are some more reddish. I don't like the regular orange ones so much because I feel like they're a little harsh, the color, but there are so many other varieties, so it doesn't matter. This is my bokashi mixture. So the middle here, I love mixing it. It's so nice because now I think pretty much, like, it's kind of lumpy, but pretty much all the bokashi is made into, like, it's not recognizable anymore. So the middle here is frozen solid, but around the edges it's thawed. So if I need it now, I can actually like get some compost. So that's exciting, and I'm sure it'll thaw very fast. Oh, there's a nectarine pit. So that's exciting. I love this. There's really nothing I want to show outside because it's just snowy. Although the snow is really beautiful, so I'll put in some nice footage of that, but really the greenhouse is the only place things are happening now. And it's just a logistical challenge. Like, the greenhouse has been really great, except for the one time I let the snow build up too much, so that kind of stretched out the plastic a little bit, which isn't a problem because I can just tighten the plastic by pulling on the sides. But in order to pull on the sides, I need to take off these clips that are holding it down, and they're metal and they are really difficult to get both on and off, so I want to do that when it's a little warmer. Plus, the plastic anyway expands when it's warm. So if I tighten the plastic now when it's cold, and then it warms up, and then during the summer the plastic will be loose again because it heats up. So I feel like there isn't really any point in doing all that work now. So I would rather wait until like May, June, and then tighten it then. It doesn't matter that it's a little loose, I think. So yeah, it's nice, even though it's easy to kind of get hung up in these more challenging aspects, and I'm just like grumpy about the mess here, but and everything takes more time than you think. But when I was watching the vlog from a year ago, that was a little later in April, so much more of the snow had thawed, but it was still just so nice looking at the garden then, because at that point I was building many of the frames that are under the snow now, and just thinking about that I don't have to do that work again. I don't have to build those frames, I don't have to fill them, like all that work is done last year. Like now it's all there, I don't need to do any of that work. And it was the same feeling, like even though last year I made a lot of new frames and stuff, there was still like, because that was the second season, and it was still that same feeling of like, wow, this year is so much easier than the first year. And it just gets easier every year, because really like establishing those frames and weeding and making sure that the soil is good and fertilized, like that just gets easier every year. So I'm super excited to start this next season. I'm excited for the snow to melt, even though it's really beautiful. So it's Easter now, and I have some time off from work, so I'm going to enjoy that, and I hope you also have a nice Easter.